Special investigation unit concludes probe into 2011 Cricket World Cup match-fixing allegations, citing no evidence to prove claims. Strike action at the Colombo port called off. Chinese gantry cranes unloaded at the East Terminal. National Police Commission approves the appointment of SSP Sujit Vedamulla as the new director of the Police Narcotic Bureau. Prabhakaran said he wanted to have TNA leaders killed. Karuna regrets not doing so. Bimal Virwangsa claims that the National Election Commission is in a conspiracy.
Hello there and a very good evening. You're watching Primetime News on TV1. For the News First team, I'm Dasniya Thada. Starting off with your top story tonight. The Criminal Investigations Department recorded a statement from UNP leader Ranil Wickremesinghe at his residence this evening.
The statement recorded was with regard to the Central Bank Treasury bond scam. Police spokesperson SSP Jali Senaratna said CID officers are at Wickremesinghe's residence located at 5th Lane, Kolpiti.
On to another headline-making story. Trade unions have called off their strike after 3 gantry cranes that were procured from China had been set up at the East Container Terminal. Trade unions said they would continue their struggle until their operations of the East Container Terminal are brought under the Sri Lanka Ports Authority.
3 cranes had arrived at the Colombo port on the 20th of last month. However, trade unions alleged that foreign influence had obstructed the process of setting up the cranes at the East Container Terminal. Following these allegations, 3 port workers staged a fast by climbing onto a crane, while other workers abstained from duties to support the protest. Amid these protests, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa had invited trade union representatives for a discussion about their problems. The Prime Minister had then issued instructions to set up the cranes at the East Container Terminal.
We decided to unload all the cranes. We promised to provide a solution over this issue after discussing these agreements in the cabinet.
Representatives of all port trade unions attended the discussion.
The Prime Minister permitted to set up the 3 gantry cranes at the ECT. Yes, to unload them to the ECT. We have won our fight. If this instruction has not been issued during the meeting, we cannot imagine as to how many lives would have been lost in the process. Today we managed to solve this problem to a certain extent. Trade unions expect to witness the operations of the East Container Terminal. We will continue our actions up to that extent.
Subsequently, port workers who staged a fast by climbing on top of the crane for 2 days also called off their protest.
Our struggle is only temporary. The main aim of this victory is to see that the East Terminal is handled only by the Sri Lankan Ports Authority as promised, and to protect it as it can generate millions of dollars to the country's economy.
Little Indian lage.
We are requesting the President to commence the operations of the East Terminal by throwing away the little Indians who are greedy for dollars out of the fray. We will not call off our fight until this is brought under the Sri Lankan Port Authority and until port employees are involved in its operations. This cannot be done by a single word or by setting up these here. It would take at least 2 or 3 months to commission this machinery. New government would have been formed by that time.
Trade unions had staged their protest this week to prevent the country's valuable resources from being sold to foreign nations. While attempts are being made to give away these resources to India, the valuable South Terminal of the Colombo port is being run as a joint venture with China. The valuable portion of the Hambantota port is being handled by China as well. Aren't these the valuable national resources of the country? The cranes that had been procured are to be set up as a result of the struggle carried out by trade unions. What needs to be done now is to commence the operations of the port. Will that take place, or is this course of action a mere eyewash that has been carried out to deceive the public and the trade unions? It is an accepted fact that a government must be voted into power to govern the country and not to sell off the country's resources. What is the authority that they have to sell off the country's assets? Nevertheless, haven't the resources of this country gradually been sold during the last 70 years?
Meanwhile, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has appointed a 5-member committee to study matters pertaining to Colombo Port's Jaya Container Terminal and East Container Terminal. Secretary to the Ministry of Ports, MMPK Mayadunna, has been appointed as the chairman of this committee. Secretary to the Ministry of Industrial Export and Investment Promotion, MPDUK Mapa Patirana, Secretary to the Ministry of Roads and Highways, RWR Premasiri, Secretary to the Ministry of Power and Renewable Energy, Vasantha Pereira, and Chairman of the Sri Lanka Ports Authority, General Daya Ratnayaka, are members of the committee. The committee should present a report in 45 days.
While the issue of the East Terminal has been temporarily resolved, the issue of the MCC agreement is still under debate. The MCC Review Committee held a press conference today to speak about the contents of its report.
We have proposed to the government that we must reject this agreement, that we should not sign this under any condition. In the course of studying the report, we noted that 2 agreements have been signed before this. Those 2 signed agreements are included in the report. One is signed for $7.4 million. Another agreement is signed within less than a year that was for $2.6 million, altogether making it $10 million. Both these agreements are included in the report. If someone says that no such agreements were signed, you can have a look at it yourselves and find out who is lying and who is not. Another point is, when we say that there has been a grant, we do not mean that the money has been obtained. We have not said that anywhere. We have said that there is a grant and it has been for the preparatory work of the MCC. The 2 agreements are here with the signatures. They now question the credibility of the report because we said that the money had not been received. We have not said at any point in the committee report that the money in these 2 agreements came to the country. If someone claims that the money did not come, we have no requirement to say yes or no. If the money has not come, isn't that a good thing? Then the government is not bound to sign the next step since they have not obtained anything. Then the government can make an independent decision.
මේකේ සල්ලි ආවේ නැහැ කියලා කවුරු හරි කියනවා නම් ඉතින් අපිට ඒක විරුද්ධත්වයක් නේ. අපි ඒක ඔව් කියනවත් නැහැ කියනවත් යන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. මේ සල්ලි ටික ඇවිල්ලා නැත්තම් ඉතින් හොඳයිනේ. එහෙනම් ලංකා රජයේ කිසිම බැඳීමක් නැහැනේ. ඊළඟ කිවිසුම අත්සන් කරන්න ඉස්සෙල්ලා කලින් ගත්ත දෙයක් නැත්තම් ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ ඉතින්. දැන් රජයේ බොහොම නිදහසේ තීන්දුවක් ගත්ත හැකි.
ඔබතුමා සඳහන් කරනවා දැන් මේ ගිවිසුම් අධීර දෙකක් අත්සන් කරලා තියෙනවා කියලා. ඒ කාරණාව හරියද?
අර ගිවිසුම් පෙන්නුවේ දැන්.
එතකොට අපිට මේ ශ්‍රී ලංකා රජයට මේකෙන් ඉවත් වීමේ හැකියාවක් තියෙනවද?
ඉතින් දැන් ඉවත් වීමක්
There is no such thing as withdrawing. We have not reached the agreement in the first place.
ගිවිසුම අත්සන් කරලා නැහැනේ.
එතකොට අධීර දෙකක් අත්සන් කරා කියන කාරණාව මොකද්ද?
මහත්තයෝ ඒ කතා
We are talking about 2 agreements that are dealing with the preparatory work. We cannot say we are coming out of this since we have not signed it in the first place.
ලංකා රජයට මේ ගිවිසුම අත්සන් නොකර සිටීමට කිසිම බාධාවක් නැහැ කියන එක තමයි ඔබතුමා කියන්නේ.
අපිට පේන විදිහට එහෙමයි.
That is what we can see. There is no barrier to refrain from signing the compact agreement.
ඒ විශේෂයෙන්ම රජයේ ඇමතිවරුන්ගෙන් වගකීම් යුතු පිරිසගෙන් ප්‍රශ්න කරනකොට ඔවුන් කියන්නේ ඒ කියන්නේ ඔවුන්ටවත් තේරිලා නැහැ අපි මේ MCC ගිවිසුම අත්සන් නොකර සිටීමට හැකියාව තියෙන බව. ඒ කියන්නේ ඔබතුමන්ලාගේ සමාලෝචන කමිටු වාර්තාව මේ රටේ ප්‍රබලයන්වත් තාම තේරුම් ගන්නේ නැහැ.
ඔය ප්‍රබලයන්ට
They may have received the report yesterday. It will take some more time for them to finalize this.
එකක් කල්යයි.
ඔබතුමාලා යෝජනා කරලා තියෙනවද මේක අත්සන් කරනවා නම් මෙන්න මේ වගේ සීපාවල තුර කරන්න එහෙම
අත්සන් කරනවා නම් කියන එකක් අපිට නැහැ. අත්සන් නොකළ යුතුයි මේ.
There is no such thing as if the report is being signed. This agreement should not be signed. If this is being considered in future, then it is a new agreement.
ඉදිරියේදී සලකා බැලීමට නම් මේ එතකොට මේ අලුත් මනමාලියක්. මේ මනමාලි ගැන නෙමෙයි කියන්නේ.
You must not say no to this simply because it is a grant. We must look into it properly. In such an instance, if this can be made in a way that the projects do not hinder the welfare of the country, if it does not affect the future generations of our country negatively, then it is all right for us to think about approving such agreements. But those have to be looked into properly and the relevant approvals should be obtained.
ගැලපෙන ව්‍යාපෘති ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්න අපට ගැලපෙන ක්‍රමවේදය යටතේ අපේ රටේ සුබ සාධනයට උල්ලංඝනය නොකර අපේ අනාගතයේ අවදානමේ නොහෙලා නැවත සකස් කිරීමක් කරන්න පුළුවන් නම් අලුත් මනමාලියක්ව අපි කසාද බඳින්න සූදානම් වුණාට කමක් නැහැ සලකා බලලා නියම අනුමැතියෙන් අරගෙන.
The duty of the committee ends from this point. However, your duty does not end here. As journalists read the report that has been prepared by the committee, governments may change, but the country must exist. We must not allow foreign entities to meddle with the internal affairs of our country. We must not betray our country not only for $480 million US, but even for $4,800 million US as well.
ඩොලර් මිලියන 480කට නෙමෙයි ඩොලර් මිලියන 4800කටවත් අපි ඒව පාවා දෙන්න යන්න අවශ්‍ය නැහැ.
President Gotabaya Rajapaksa met with the people while touring certain areas in the Anuradhapura district today. The President inquired about the well-being of the people while visiting the areas in the vicinity of the Thammannawa in Thalaba. Meanwhile, the Traders Union of the Tambutegama Economic Centre donated 200,000 rupees to the COVID-19 fund. The President visited the Kalawava area today. He met with the people after engaging in religious observances and invoking blessings at the Kadavara Devalaya. The President, who inquired into the well-being of the people at the Kumbuka Sevana in Kakirava, also obtained the blessings from the Mahasangha. Lest we forget, today is the third segment that takes us through some of the key events of our past.
Lest we forget. The Portuguese and the Dutch lost ground in Ceylon as they lacked foresight when signing agreements. In the meantime, the British were in the island as well and they were eyeing Ceylon, but they were patient. The British executed an excellent strategy and our own leaders fell prey for it, and they betrayed our motherland through a treaty. And they gave away Ireland, our blessed island nation, on a silver platter to the British. Lest we forget. 1796 AD, the end of the Dutch era. The British invaded the island and consolidated their power. The Muren Regiment, a mercenary brigade serving in the Dutch strongholds, gave away power to the English for money. First, the coastal areas were captured and a conspiracy to conquer the hill country was implemented. Internal political tension between the Nayakar king and the local elites paved the way for the British to create more divisions among the populace. With the help of Ahalepula Mahanilame of Sabaragamuwa, the British invaded the hill country and captured the whole island by signing the Kandyan Convention on the 2nd of March 1815. Lest we forget. Despite pledging to protect us, they oppressed our people and burdened them with unbearable amounts of taxes and many other restrictions in day-to-day life. Lest we forget.
On the 2nd of March 1815, upcountry elites joined hands with foreign forces and paved the way for an agreement to be signed, an agreement that was detrimental to our country. Madugalle Udagabada Nilame was the only one who refrained from joining and fought against the signing of the agreement. He was in custody by the 2nd of March. It was in Palugama Valimada where almost 60,000 people died because of the detrimental and short-sighted agreement that was signed between Kappetipula and the foreign forces.
Lest we forget. In 1818 and 1848, the whole country yearns for independence, but these two rebellions were crushed and ended in defeat. All these agreements we signed to break free and seek independence were mired with flaws. Ultimately, we paid the price. We lost our wealth, and most importantly, we lost our country. Lest we forget.
On to another top story. Kumar Sangakkara and Mahela Jayawardena are two cricketing greats who made Sri Lanka proud in the global arena. However, they had been summoned before the police after former Sports Minister Mahindananda Alutgamage 9 years later claimed that the finals of the 2011 World Cup had been fixed. Although Mahela Jayawardena had initially been informed to appear before the Special Investigation Unit today, the police took steps to postpone the recording of the statement. Meanwhile, the police headquarters today announced that no evidence has surfaced to corroborate claims of match fixing during the 2011 World Cup finals.
මට කියන්න තියෙන්නේ මම 2011
I attended the 2011 World Cup final. I observed the match. I had suspicion and received information regarding this. I then informed the ICC about it. I prepared the necessary laws in the country.
මම මේකට අවශ්‍ය නීති රීති රටේ හැදුවා.
Meanwhile, General Manager of the Anti-Corruption Unit at the International Cricket Council, Alex Marshall, said the ICC has not been presented with any evidence that supports the claims of match fixing surrounding the finals of the 2011 World Cup final. He confirmed that there is no record of any letter regarding this matter sent by the then Sri Lankan Sports Minister to the ICC. Marshall added that there is no reason to doubt the integrity of the ICC Cricket World Cup final in 2011. Yesterday, the director of the Special Investigation Unit said Mahela Jayawardena has been informed to appear before the investigators in connection to an ongoing probe based on a statement made by former Minister Mahindananda Alutgamage. The decision to summon Mahela Jayawardena to record a statement has been revised this morning. However, Jayawardena appeared before the Special Investigation Unit at around 9 a.m. today.
The investigation unit had informed me through my lawyers of a time to appear before them. However, around 11:30 p.m. yesterday, they informed me not to come today and that another date would be provided. This morning, I saw certain media reports claiming I have informed that I wouldn't be able to appear before the investigators, citing personal reasons. Therefore, I felt that justice must be done over this. That is why I informed them and came here this morning. I have never made such a statement. I am a person who loves the game of cricket and respects it. I have a responsibility to provide them with what they need. However, they informed me that there was no need to do that. It is they who took that decision and said they would provide me with another day to record my statement. Therefore, I am making a humble request to refrain from publishing false media reports based on statements that I have not made. I have a responsibility to ensure that future generations are allowed to play this game in Sri Lanka in the proper manner. We will provide our utmost support towards these investigations. The investigators are doing a really good job. Therefore, let us see what will happen in the future.
අපි බලමු ඉදිරියේදී මොකද වෙන්නේ කියලා. දැන් මහින්දානන්ද වගේ දේශපාලඥයෙක් ඔබතුමන්ලා වගේ හොඳ ක්‍රීඩකයින්ට දක්ෂ ක්‍රීඩකයින්ට අයි මේ වගේ මේ කීර්තිනාමය නැති කරන්නේ. අපි ඒක මේ පරීක්ෂණයෙන් පස්සේ අපි බලමු මොකද වෙන්නේ කියලා.
Kumar Sangakkara provided a statement for more than 9 hours yesterday.
I personally believe that we should have allowed the ICC to do this job or obtain their advice on carrying out these investigations.
The Special Investigation Unit that was set up under the Prevention of Offences Relating to Sports Act submitted a report to the Acting Inspector General of Police and announced that any evidence with regard to match fixing has not emerged out of the statements that has been recorded.
Mahela
Jayawardena and Kumar Sangakkara are two cricketers who have brought great dignity, pride and respect to the country. I do not accept that they had engaged in disrespectful activities such as match fixing. I don't think that people will believe this as well. I believe that a complaint might have been filed with the police as a result of a conspiracy with the motive of tarnishing their image and destroying their future.
ඉදිරිපත් කරන්න ඇති කියලා තමයි මම විශ්වාස කරන්නේ.
What is the controversy that is being involved in this? Chairman of the International Cricket Council, Shashank Manohar, resigned from his position recently, leaving the top post vacant. According to foreign media reports, India has nominated Sourav Ganguly, a former national player and currently the president of the Board of Control for Cricket in India. The mechanism to choose the next president is to be released next week. It is against such a backdrop that the name of Kumar Sangakkara has resurfaced. Sangakkara currently holds the post of president of Marylebone Cricket Club. He is the first non-British individual to be appointed to this post.
The Rajapaksas, Mahindananda Alutgamage and Tilanga Sumatipala, who destroyed cricket in the country, are in one camp. Why is this trio trying to destroy individuals like Sangakkara, Mahela and Malinga who brought glory to the country? Kumar Sangakkara had been prepared to run for the post of president of the International Cricket Council. Therefore, there is massive suspicion as to whether this is part of a great conspiracy to prevent Sangakkara from occupying the top job. A historic occasion that could have been enjoyed by this country was lost as a result of the dirty work of this government. We know that receiving the post of ICC president brings great dignity to the country. We know that Kumar Sangakkara has fulfilled all the conditions to run the race for ICC president. However, he seems to have been deprived of this opportunity as a result of this dirty work of the government. We have great suspicion as to whether the government did this on purpose. We are suspicious whether they are depriving Kumar Sangakkara of this opportunity to provide an upper hand to the Indian player. The government stirred up a false story stating that match fixing had taken place in 2011. Whom are they trying to appease by bringing disrepute to these individuals? We know that the government has fallen to its knees before India and sought for more time to pay off the debts. Is this the compensation that they are trying to pay India? They have deprived the country of achieving glory. This is an extremely dirty work of the government.
Ask Mahindananda where he was on the day before the match. As far as I remember, he was in Nepal. We don't know why he went to Nepal along with Udita Lokubandara and Namal. When he returned to the country, I immediately asked him whether he had sold the match. He responded saying, "Are you mad? This is a diplomatic way of selling things. It is wrong to use innocent cricketers for this." They dropped this bombshell because Sangha is to be appointed as ICC president. That is also a contract of the Indian government. This is a diplomatic contract.
I remember that match very well. That was because I was the Minister of Power in 2011. The day before the final, 5 power stations in the country malfunctioned. I then realized that the people in Sri Lanka won't be able to watch the match. Since this was a situation I could not manage, I informed Mahinda Rajapaksa about this. He passed the message to Mahindananda Aluthgamage. I then realized that there is something taking place behind my back. That is the type of politicians they are. However, we overcame that challenge and provided the people in our country to watch the match. I too watched it. There's a different story here. Let me state that clearly. These players challenged them. They opposed the proposed construction of the Diyagama Cricket Stadium. That hurt them. Matches haven't been ever. It is difficult for them to spend 1.6 million and waste it with the public. Next, they will bring forth the next phase. That is to completely destroy the image of these players.
In 2006, Jayanta Dhanapala contested for the post of UN General Secretary. However, he resigned a day before the election. Korean media reported that the support of the Sri Lankan government had been sought for Moon's candidacy. They removed the Sri Lankan candidate and supported him. Is this a political witch hunt? Is this a conspiracy of India to prevent Sangha from becoming the chairman of the ICC? It was players like Sangha and Mahela who gave us a hope of victory at a time when we were losing matches. While Sangakkara, who became the president of the MCC in England, is running for the post of ICC chairman, this government is depriving the country of an honorable position.
He is planning to run for the post of ICC chairman. If Sangakkara is planning to contest for the post, the Prime Minister or the Minister could have stopped Mahindananda from making this false remark by asking him to shut his mouth instead of expressing foolish remarks. If Sangakkara is contesting for the post, his appearance before the CID is enough to blacklist him. This is irrelevant to match fixing. Everyone knows this is a false story. They are depriving one of our leaders from assuming the top post.
The former president of Sri Lanka Cricket, Tilanga Sumudipala, is saying that Sangakkara cannot contest for the post of ICC chairman as there is an ongoing investigation and that he has to provide a statement. That is when the crux of the matter was exposed. We were wondering as to what Mahindananda Aluthgamage was speaking all of a sudden after 9 years. The chairman of the ICC has resigned. A vote must take place to appoint the next chairman. An election will be held to do that. The suitable person in the world who is going to contest the election is Sri Lanka's Kumar Sangakkara. However, they are doing this to prevent Kumar Sangakkara from contesting. That is because politicians drag players who have brought glory to the country by their feet. It is not just a case of selling the match. They are also selling the post of ICC chairman to India.
දැන් දෙන්න හදන්නේ මොකද්ද? ඉන්දියාවට ජාත්‍යන්තර ක්‍රිකට් කවුන්සිලේ සභාපතිකමත් පාව දෙන්න යන්නේ.
Vinyangamurthy Muralidharan alias Karuna Amman made another statement at a public meeting in Kalawanchikudi, Batiklo recently.
இந்த தமிழ் தேசிய கூட்டமைப்பை உருவாக்கினா அதாவது சிவராமன் ஒரு பத்திரிகையாளர் இருந்து
I created the Tamil National Alliance. At the time, a journalist by the name of Sivaram approached me with a proposal to show the world the real situation of the war and the influence in parliament. I then informed my leader about it, and he asked if I am attempting to bring together all those listed down to be assassinated by the LTTE at the time. Do you get it now? That's the mistake we made. We should have fulfilled the wishes of the leadership back then. The leader agreed and called them to Vanni. He stressed that Sampanthan should lead the alliance. Everyone agreed to it. At present, what is Sampanthan saying on television now? He says that the TNA has no link with the LTTE. I think he does not know what he speaks of. Two people have to hold him from both sides for him to cast his vote. Do you need a leader like this?
A petition filed seeking an order that Karuna Amman be arrested and the law be enacted on him was taken up at the Supreme Court today. The petition was filed by a councillor of the Kadwil Urban Council, Bosit Kalahepatirana. The petition was based on the statement made by Karuna Amman at an election meeting in Digamadul recently that he is more dangerous than COVID-19 as he provided leadership to kill 2,000 to 3,000 soldiers in one night at Elephant Pass. The Supreme Court decided to consider the petition on the 28th of September. When the petition was taken up for consideration today before Justices Priyantha Jayawardena and Vijit Malagoda, the Senior Deputy Solicitor General appearing on behalf of Attorney General Mrs. Haripriya Jayasundara said that objections will be filed regarding the petition.
Attorney General Dapula de Oliveira spoke to the officials of the narcotics units of the police and prison today.
The Attorney General met with the officials of the police and prison narcotics unit at the DIG's office in Colombo. Although the media was invited to attend the event, the police prevented the media from attending the meeting.
දැන් වෙලා දෙන්නේ මේ ආවේ නාකොටික් කට්ටියනේ. ඔව්. ඒගොල්ලෝ සිවිල් නිලධාරී. ඔව්. බුදුමන්ලා වීඩියෝ කරගත් කෙරුවාම ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ මෙතන මහදෙන හයිලයිට් එක. හරි. ඒතකොට ඒ රාජකාරිය අපිට ආපහු කරන්න අපහසුයි. හරි. අපිට ගේට්ටුව නෙමෙයි ඕනේ. අපිට ඉන්නේ නීතිපතිතුමා පොලිස් නිලධාරීන් අවසරණ ආවරණය කරන දෙයක් තියෙනවා. ඒක කව කරන්නයි අපිට එන්න කියලා තියෙන්නේ. බුදුමා එන දැන් වැඩේ තියෙන්නේ දැන් පැය මට එහෙම යන්න දෙන්න බෑ වැදුතුමා.
A journalist who managed to enter the premises after the Attorney General arrived was later removed from the premises. Senior DIG Deshabandhu Tennakon and police media spokesperson SSP Jalya Senaratne was questioned on this during a media briefing.
Just like Jalia mentioned, the decision to not to allow the media was made to protect the identity of the police officers. But if you mention that the media was harassed, then we are not happy about it. I will inform the acting IGP in this regard because we did not order for anyone to be inconvenienced or harassed. This seems to have arisen due to poor communication. The police did not intend to deliberately inconvenience the media.
However, the AG's department released a statement made by Attorney General Dappula Dilivera to the media this evening. There is no discipline here. It is impossible to engage in one's duties in a proper manner without discipline. Senior officers must discipline themselves and set an example for junior ranks to follow. I can see many young officers are here. You will have many more years in state service, so don't ruin your future because you cannot always hide from the law after committing crimes. There will come a day where you will get caught or you will face the ditta dhamma vedaniya karmaya. When you do get caught, you will lose everything, including your family. If you want to earn money, step out of service and start your own business. Do not do it while wearing the uniform. Don't destroy these institutions. Instead, you must develop it. You have a responsibility towards the general public. You are accountable to protect the rule of law in the country and treat everyone equally. Also, teams should be rotated rather than keeping it for years.
While these are the views expressed by the Attorney General, 15 officials of the Police Narcotics Bureau are being detained and questioned at the Criminal Investigation Department. These officials have been accused of selling narcotics seized by them to drug smugglers.
They have extracted 8 kilograms out of the 500 kilograms of ice which is seized by the Police Narcotics Bureau. Therefore, investigations are underway. The CID has detained these suspects and launched an investigation. Investigations have also been launched to find out the remaining heroin and identify the drug smugglers. More than 32 million rupees, 2 vans, a car and a cab have been seized. A T-56 bullet casing was also being seized with another pistol.
ගිනියවියක පතරොන් ගැබක් හොයාගෙන තියෙනවා පිස්තෝලයක් හොයාගෙන තියෙනවා
පොලිස් පරීක්ෂකවරයෙක් රට සනලා කියලා දැන් සතුරුදාන් වෙලා කියලා තියෙනවා ජාලිය මාත්‍යා මේ දැන් එයා හොයාගත්තද මොකද තත්ත්වය
සම්බන්ධ තියෙන කන් තියෙන පොලිස්
The CID is searching to have him arrested. It has not been reported to the CID that he has gone abroad. We have obtained a travel ban to prevent him from travelling overseas.
විදේශගත වීම වැළැක්වීම සඳහා දැනට විදේශ ගමන් තහනමක් ලබාගෙන තියෙනවා.
නාකොටික්ස් එකේ DIG මහත්තයා වෙනත් ස්ථානයකට මාරු කරනවා. DIG මහත්තයා වෙනත් තැනකට මාරු කරා කියන එක ප්‍රමාණවත්ද මේ පරීක්ෂණවල?
බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ වෙන මොකක් කරන්න?
නෑ ඉතින් දැන් DIG මහත්තයාගේ යටතේ හිටපු කණ්ඩායමක් නේ මේකට සම්බන්ධ වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒකට
පරීක්ෂණවල අවසානයේදී අනාවරණය වෙන්න ඕන. ඉදිරියට අනාවරණය වෙන්න ඕන. මහත්තයාගේ හරි කාගේ හරි තව වෙන උසස් නිලධාරියෙකුගේ සම්බන්ධතාවය තියෙනවද කියන කාරණාව මේ අපරාධයට.
මේ වෙනකොට නඩුකාණ්ඩ තවදුරටත් Java නම් වලට යොදවලා තියෙනවා. නැත්නම් මේවා එක්කින් තියනවද කියලා මොහොතේ වෙන ක්‍රමවේදයකින් බලන්න.
මද්ද්‍රව්‍ය නාශකාරයන්සේ
The CID has sealed the room where court items are stored. With the assistance of government analysts and judicial officers, it will be determined if there are any shortcomings there. But it has not been revealed that court items have been smuggled yet.
එවැනි නඩු භාණ්ඩ ජාවාරම් කිරීමක් පිළිබඳව අනාවරණ වෙලා නැහැ.
Police has also revealed information of large drug smuggling rackets.
On the 25th of June 2020, 1.28 kilograms of narcotics were seized from a suspect by the Dehiwala police. 235,000 rupees of cash was also seized. The suspect was later identified as a representative of Mervyn Jana, who is currently in remand custody. It was later found out that the money was deposited to an account of a 65-year-old man residing at the suspect's home. They have been arrested. When investigated, it was revealed that 140 million was deposited to the account from the 15th of July 2019 to the 6th of June 2020. Another 1.9 billion rupees was transferred to another account the day the suspect was arrested. The police acted quickly and saved this money. Whose money is it? The CID is now jointly investigating into this.
කවුද කාටද කියන කාරණාව සම්බන්ධයෙන් අපරාධ පරීක්ෂණ දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවත් එක්ක ඒකාබද්ධ වෙලා දැන් අපි පරීක්ෂණ කරන් යනවා.
The National Police Commission has approved the appointment of the Senior Superintendent of Police, Sujit Vedamulla, as the new Director of the Police Narcotics Bureau. Senior Superintendent of Police, Sujit Vedamulla, is the eldest son of former ASP W.M. Mettananda and is a student of Royal College, Colombo. Sujit Vedamulla started his career as a Sub-Inspector of Police at the National Intelligence Bureau in 1991. He served as the Assistant Superintendent of Police at Point Pedro in 2009 and 2010, when the civil conflict in the north was at its peak. Sujit Vedamulla, who also served as a member of the UN peacekeeping mission in East Timor, has received training specializing in anti-narcotics organized in Japan. While serving as a Superintendent of Police in Monaragala and other areas, Vedamulla was an officer who took great interest in working and engaging with the community. He was appointed to the post of Senior Superintendent of Police in 2018 and has also received a special course on crime prevention organized by the Indian Federal Bureau of Investigations. 20 police officers, including 12 DIGs, have been transferred with immediate effect. The transfers have been made based on service requirements and after obtaining the approval of the National Police Commission. Accordingly, DIG of the Police Headquarters, GKP Aponsu, has been transferred to the Police Narcotics Bureau. Sanjeeva Madhavatha, the DIG of the Police Narcotics Bureau, has been transferred to the Welfare Department. Additionally, 6 SSPs and 2 ASPs have also been transferred. Up next is our Newsline segment.
හාමුදුරනේ මොකද්ද දැන් අපේ මේ ස්වභාව ධර්මයට වෙමින් යන්නේ? කවුද මේක විනාශ කරන්නේ?
The actions of the leaders appointed over the years have attributed to the destruction of our environment. However, the situation has only worsened with the current government. You may remember how approximately 5,600 acres of precious forest land of the Vilpattu Reserve was destroyed. The destruction taking place at present is almost 10 times of that. This is what's happening via the Circular 05/2001. More than 500,000 hectares of other state forest land has been destroyed.
අපේ හාමුදුරනේ පහ ඇලවිරක් 2001 චක්‍රලේඛයේ මොකද්ද කියන්නේ?
පහ ඇලවිරක් 2001 චක්‍රලේඛනය කියලා කියන්නේ අපේ
Through this circular, lands that were under the purview of the district secretary was brought under the Department of Forest Conservation. If development activities were to take place on such land, approval must be obtained from the additional committee of the subject ministry. Land can be allocated for the development purposes after the requirements are submitted to this committee. However, what the present government is trying to do now is to provide 500,000 hectares of valuable land to multinational companies via divisional secretaries. This is being done without a proper analysis. They are planning on providing land to 5 multinational companies. President Rajapaksa in his policy manifesto says that forest cover in Sri Lanka will be increased to 30% after he takes over as president. However, what is happening at present is taking place with the intervention of Basil Rajapaksa, and I make this statement with much responsibility. The government is trying to destroy 500,000 hectares of valuable state land. What's amusing is how a cabinet paper was submitted on the 1st requesting the land to be released for farmers for cultivation purposes.
හාමුදුරුවෝ බරපතල චෝදනාවක් කරනවා බැසිල් රාජපක්ෂ මැතිතුමාට. ඔහු මෙතන නෑ. ඒ නිසා මම මේ විදියට ප්‍රශ්න කරන්න වෙනවා. ඔබට සාධක සාක්ෂි තියෙනවද බැසිල් රාජපක්ෂ මැතිතුමාට චෝදනා කරන්න? ඔහු තමයි මේ වන විනාශය පිටිපස්සේ ඉන්නේ කියලා. මම ඕනම අවස්ථාවක
I am prepared to present evidence to support my statement at any given point. I state with much responsibility. My conscience is important than anything in this world.
අටුවාටික අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. මේ චීවරයට බැරි ඇයි විධායක ජනාධිපතිතුමාට කියන්න මේ හානිය වළක්වන්න මැදිහත් වෙන්න කියලා.
අපි එතුමා පිළිබඳව දැනටත්
We believe in him. However, we observe that the president is isolated in this context. Also, we would like to ask, how can anyone watch the destruction of such valuable land, fauna and flora?
මේ රටේ මිනිස්සු බලන් ඉන්නේ. කොළඹ වරායේ නැගෙනහිර පර්යන්තයේ ඉල්ලා හිටිනවා ඉන්දියාව. ඒ වගේම හම්බන්තොට වරායේ චීනය. ඒ වගේම තෙල් ටැංකි නැවතත් ත්‍රිකුණාමලේ ඉන්දියාවට ඒ විතරක් නෙවෙයි MCC ගිවිසුම හරහා ඔබ වහන්සේලාම කියනවා ඇමරිකාවට පොනවා කියලා. කොතනින්ද අපි මේකෙන් ගොඩ එන්නේ අපේ හාමුදුරුවනේ?
අපිට තියෙන අවාසනාවන්ත තත්ත්වය තමයි මහත්මයෝ මේ තියෙන තත්ත්වය තේරුම්.
What's unfortunate is how our leaders fail to understand the situation. For an example, 15,000 acres in Habbanthura was given to a Chinese company. All 15,000 acres were valuable forest land. Now what has happened? Do you see any land with cultivation?
දකින්න නැති වෙලා තියෙනවා. අද කුරක්කන් හේන තියෙන්නේ කුරක්කන් තියෙන්නේ සාටකයක් දාලා කරේ විතරයි.
MCC ගිවිසුම නරකයි කියලා දැන් ඒ සම්බන්ධයෙන් සොයා බලන කමිටුවක් කියලා තියෙනවා. හැබැයි එය තවමත් අධ්‍යයනය කරමින් පවතිනවා.
MCC ගිවිසුම නරකයි කිව්වේ.
The claim that the MCC was a harmful agreement was not made in the recent past. We once staged a fast at Independence Square as well. Several ministers of the current government, including Bandulu Gunwardana, who were part of the opposition back then, visited us and handed over in writing an assurance that the MCC agreement will not be signed in a government headed by Gotabaya Rajapaksa. We have in our possession this written proof. Almost 7 months have passed and there is nothing more to review in this agreement. The government must now fulfill their promises. This is our request.
ඉඩම් ගනුදෙනු නැතුව බලශක්ති ශේත්‍රයේ විදුලි බලශක්ති ශේත්‍රයට වගේ ඇමරිකාව මේ ගිවිසුම හරහා ආවොත් හොඳ නැද්ද රට?
හොඳයිද නරකයිද කියලා කියන්න හොඳම උදාහරණ ටිකක් තියෙනවා අප්‍රිකන් රටවල් වල.
There are many examples that I could quote to tell you whether such a proposal is good or bad. They have even suspended the provision of relief funding. The president was elected to his seat with a mandate of 6.9 million Sri Lankans who refused the MCC agreement. So the president can clearly make a statement even tomorrow that the government will not sign the MCC.
ජනාධිපතිවරයාට පුළුවන් හෙට දවසේ ප්‍රකාශයක් කරන්න අපි අත්සන් කරන්නේ නැහැ කියලා.
ලෝක පූජිත ක්‍රීඩකයෝ දැන් මේ කට උත්තර දෙන්න එන්න වෙලා තියෙනවා අර ඉන්දියාවත් සමග පැවැත්විච්ච තරඟය විකුණුවයි කියන. ඒ කියන්නේ ලෝක කුසලාන තරඟය විකුණුවයි කියන චෝදනාවත් එක්ක.
ක්‍රිකට් තරඟයේ පාරාජ මේ.
The accuracy of such a claim should be verified after analyzing additional information. Were vehicles imported to Sri Lanka the following month? Were vehicles given to anyone? What did they receive from India? The nature of the deal or whether the cricketers were influenced in any way? What were the objectives behind all this? In order to find the answers to all of these questions, they must bring in the president, cabinet ministers and subject minister who served during that period. They are the ones responsible. How can a few cricketers fix a match? They have tarnished the image of our internationally acclaimed sportsmen. They are trying to sabotage the ICC chairmanship and trying to pave the way for India to get it. We can see a conspiracy to tarnish the image of internationally acclaimed cricketers like Kumar Sangakkara and to pave the way for Ganguly to get the position.
බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා අර නැවත ICC එකේ තනතුරු ගංගුලිට දෙන්න.
ඉන්දියාවත් එක්ක තිබෙන ඩීල් එකක් නිසාද මේ සියල්ල වෙන්නේ?
පැහැදිලිවම ඩීල් එකක්.
අපේ හාමුදුරුවන්ව ඇයි ගම්පහ දිස්ත්‍රික්කයේ ජනතාව පාර්ලිමේන්තුවට යවි?
ගම්පහ දිස්ත්‍රික්කයේ එක පැත්තකින් මුතු රාජ්‍යවල ගොඩ කරමින් දේශපාලඥයෝ අති දැවැන්ත.
On one hand, politicians are causing a massive destruction to the environment. On the other side, they are trying to dispose the mountains of imported garbage in Muthurajavela. 30 to 40 containers of garbage imported from England now lies at the port. More garbage containers can be seen at the Biyagama Free Trade Zone. Another group of politicians representing the SLPP are trying to enter parliament so they could give nod for sand mining in Deulapitia. If politicians continue to destroy the environment in such a manner, there will be nothing left for us in the future. We need an independent vision, a vision that does not include any foreign influence, a vision that will stand for the rights of Sri Lankans. It is with such a vision that we made a decision to contest the upcoming election.
ටීම්වලට එරෙහිව අපිට ස්වාධීන මතයක් අවශ්‍යයි. ඒ මතය හිසින් දරාගෙන තමයි අපි මෙවර මේ තීන්දුව ගන්නේ.
We'll be back after this short commercial break. Stay tuned.
Playing this weekend on Yes 101.
The Weekend Top 30 with Hollywood Hamilton.
What's up? It's Hollywood Hamilton. You know what we do around here. It's the fastest moving countdown in America. Some of the biggest names in the industry in the studio.
Hi, I'm Ariana Grande.
This is Drake.
This is Lady Gaga.
Backstage with us and on the WT30 hotline. I'll catch you this weekend for the Weekend Top 30.
The Weekend Top 30 with Hollywood Hamilton on Yes 101.
Welcome back to the news. Still in local news, the remains of a student who had died after being knocked down by a tractor driven by a sand miner were brought to his home today.
The accident had taken place in Pallama Tunsaranagama in Putlam yesterday morning. Tharindu Madushan, a 16-year-old boy who was a resident of the Tunsaranagama, fell a victim to the incident. As the eldest child in the family of 2 children, Tarindu Madushan was a grade 11 student of Nandamitra Vidyalaya who had been preparing for the ordinary level exams. Area residents alleged that illegal sand mining activities taking place on the borders of the Dadru Oya have aggravated from environmental destructions to claiming the lives of innocent people.
ඒ හප්පගෙන ගිහිල්ලත් ඒ ළඟ හිටිලා නැහැ. එයා ඉතන ඉන්න නැතුව මග ඇරලා ගිහිල්ලා. ඒ ළමයා තමයි ඒ තාත්තට හිටියේ ලොකුම හයියකට.
ඒ අපරාධයට මං නම් කියන්නේ කොහොම හරි කරලා විසඳුමක් ලබලා දෙන්න පින් සිද්ධ වෙයි.
වැඳලා ඉල්ලනවා මේ තරිඳු මල්ලේට වෙච්ච සිද්ධිය ඔහුට යුක්තිය සාධාරණ කරලා දෙන්න කියලා.
The suspect who was arrested in connection to the incident was produced before the Chilla Magistrates Court today. Our correspondent reported that the court had ordered the suspect to be remanded until the 17th of this month.
The Ministry of Health said 154 people identified as contacts of the COVID-19 patient detected from Jintupitia in Colombo 13 yesterday have been directed to quarantine.
The total number of COVID-19 cases reported from Sri Lanka currently stands at 2,067. 193 active patients are currently under medical supervision. Another 36 recovered COVID-19 cases were discharged today, bringing the total number of recovered patients to 1,863.
The Director General of Health Services has labelled the entire country as prone to the virus. The regulations that fall under the ordinance will continue to be in effect. However, the police will not arrest anyone as we have received instructions to only advise the general public during the next week. However, the law will be enforced on any individual who violates the rules and regulations intentionally.
ජින්තුපිටිය ප්‍රදේශයෙන් කොරෝනා රෝගියෙක් වාර්තා වෙනවා. ඒ සමග දෙවන රැල්ලක් කොරෝනා රැල්ලක් ආවොත් මැතිවරණයට කුමක් වේද සභාපතිතුමා?
දෙවන රැල්ලක් එනවා කියලා අපි විශ්වාස කරන්නේ නැහැ.
We don't believe that there would be a second wave.
ගන්න ඕන. අපි කරන්න ඕන දේ තමයි නිරන්තරයෙන් මුහුණු.
If we need to conduct the election as planned, what we need to do is to follow health guidelines that include wearing a face mask always, keeping your hands clean and maintaining a distance of 1 meter.
The final rites of Sibyl Vettasinghe, a renowned writer who won the hearts of many children, were held at the Boralla Cemetery today.
Sibyl Vettasinghe, who was born in 1927 in the village of Gintota in Gaul, passed away at the age of 93 on Wednesday. During her illustrious career, Vettasinghe authored over 250 books for children, etching an indelible mark in the hearts of many. The remains of Sibyl Vettasinghe were placed at a private parlour in Boralla for the public to pay their last respects today. The funeral cortege then proceeded towards the Boralla cemetery amidst a gallow of tributes, including those from the President and the Prime Minister. Kalakirti Sibyl Vettasinghe, most dearly addressed as Sibyl Nanda by Sri Lankans of all age groups, dedicated her life to nourish the children of Sri Lanka and across. Her work of literature will be appreciated in generations to come.
The Dehiwala Zoological Gardens commemorated 84 years since its inception today.
The Dehiwala Zoo was declared open in 1936. An event was held at the zoo this afternoon to commemorate its 84th anniversary. The event was held under the patronage of Ishini Wickramasinghe, who is the Director General of the Department of National Zoological Gardens. Two of the oldest animals in the zoo, that include the flap-shell turtle and an elephant, were offered special meals during the event. The Dehiwala Zoo, which is the oldest zoological garden in Asia, that houses a wide variety of both local and foreign animal species, has won the attraction of many. Approximately 1.5 million tourists visit the zoo annually. The Dehiwala Zoo has a collection of around 3,000 animals that include 72 species of mammals, 65 species of birds, 31 species of reptiles, 89 species of fish, 30 species of butterflies and 3 groups of mammals.
We leave you tonight with another rendition of the Nagitimu Sri Lanka theme song performed by the nursing staff of the National Hospital in Colombo. For the News First team, I'm Dasni Athada along with our interpreter tonight, Taraka Gabriel. Good night.
Sri Lanka
නැගිටිමු ශ්‍රී ලංකා හිතමු ඉදිරියම එකවන්න හැම නැගිටිමු ශ්‍රී ලංකා
හෙටයි දිවන නව ලෝකය හමුවේ නැගිටිමු ශ්‍රී ලංකා
මයික්ෂම් කානාද මනිද පන්බගල ගීඳිடும் ශ්‍රී ලංකා We must unite and march ahead Alright Sri Lanka now
නැගිටිමු ශ්‍රී ලංකා අපි නැගිටිමු ශ්‍රී ලංකා
Kammadda Nagitimu Sri Lanka